Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Before the break, the party was on board a derelict cruiser investigating what happened when they encountered a very scary entity. The party realized they needed to vacate the ship, but the situation got even worse when, unbeknownst to them at the time, a massive dreadnought, about 10 times bigger than the cruiser they were on, crystalline black and covered in glowing red lights, came out of blink space and began to open fire on the cruiser. They went to the hangar to try and find a method of escape, only for their damaged ship, the Crimson Starhawk, to come limping in, skid along the floor, goop them up, and then pop right back out. It was revealed by Gawhyl that the engines had been critically damaged, and unfortunately, as a result, jumping would be impossible until they were repaired. She estimated about 15 to 20 minutes time to repair, and then the party immediately jumped to work to try and help her repair. Meanwhile, Indivan Nightfeather, sensing a desperate situation, decided to try and take one for the team, and she began to activate her most powerful magic to jump them to a different point in space. It was not quick enough, however, as the ship took another hit and the engines took even more damage. But Indivan was able to get the party successfully to safety. They find themselves in a completely random bit of space they are unfamiliar with, and their pilot Indivan, after casting this spell, has just collapsed to the floor.
I exited the engine room, so I guess I would be the one to see this.
Yes, the moment she casts the spell, like she completes the spell to jump you guys, and then she just goes limp and falls to the floor.
Can I try and just quickly jump to try and stop her from falling too hard?
Yeah, you can catch her.
Sort of gently lay down just to, and then check if she's still alive and breathing and everything.
She is, in fact, still alive. However, why don't you make a medicine check for me?
Cool. I'm rolling badly on those dice today. Medicine. Yeah, that's a straight 7.
Your best guess is she just exerted herself. Like, it was really hard to cast the magic for some reason. It's about all you got.
I think Gold attempts to pick her up and then take her down to wherever the medical area is.
Yeah. So the infirmary is on, like, the main deck. It's across from the main deck. And you do go in there, and you basically catch Trem, your ship's medic, just basically like getting up off the floor, grumbling because old bones something.
She requires some aid. I believe she has just spent all her energy. This accent changes all the time. Just realized, not once have I done the same accent.
Making the Elvish accent French was my worst. Like, I am my own worst enemy.
It's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me.
I've lost the French accent.
Monsieur.
Can you help?
Yeah, so he basically instructs you. It's just like, what the hell are you doing? Put her on the table. And he checks her over, and like he checks her breathing, he goes through the motions. And what he basically tells you, like, for player benefit, she took 5 levels of exhaustion doing that. If she had literally, like, done something else and then done that, it probably would have killed her. But she is alive, and she will recover. She just needs rest.
Yeah.
The only problem is, the ship is now currently adrift, and there is no one to fly it.
What's-
you
so
have
what's
a
with
sailor
Sensu,
on
but-
board.
What skill is piloting?
So a piloting check would be Dex.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Let's see, Dex plus proficiency, I think is what it is.
All right,
I wanted before, but not a ship of this scale.
And I've hung around Megs probably long enough, and I can fly a ship, but not. So I could probably, and Dagg, I bet Ensol would probably give a little bit of help.
So,
Downloading schematics.
first things first, though. Nebula's in the gunner's cockpit that has that like kind of glass area around it. What does she see out there?
Stars.
Funnily
Actually.
enough, you can actually see a planet.
Our home world.
It's also incredibly close. Like, in the window, it probably takes up about 3/5 of the window.
She can see the Great Wall.
Is this any of the planets we've been to thus far?
No.
Fuck it, PakPak's jumping in the co-pilot seat on the.
Cockpilot?
He's taking control and he's trying to get us away from this planet.
The what pilot? What?
Whatever. I'm dyslexic. Leave me alone.
PakPak. Wow.
Threava looks at you. I've been on this ship longer than you. I probably deserve to pilot it. What do you want me to do?
We're not gonna crash. That's what.
In that case, I basically effectively tried to do not an up and down U-turn, but rotate 180 degrees and go back away from the
Are we
planet.
being pulled by its gravity? Like, are we gonna have to go like get the right angle for entry?
So it's funny. At about that point, hello?
Oh,
Oh well.
Did the music pod die?
Yes.
Yeah, the music was dead.
It's probably finally gone.
It could be the last minute of Hydra. You may have to use Ayana bot.
I will try to put in another.
F's in the chat.
Rip.
But as I was saying, it's about at this point that you would in fact feel the ship jolt a little bit, and you would know that to mean that you have indeed crossed the threshold into the planet's gravity well.
Oh well.
Oh no.
This feels familiar.
So I'm familiar with the cockpit. Can I kind of like do something like a planetary scan to see if there's anywhere that, like, there could be a planet settlement you could land on or something?
Aren't
in
we
theory.
falling into the planet?
Yes.
Uh,
Also, to those of you that tried to take control of the ship, the controls aren't responding.
I want to see if I can try and jack in, or have Ensol jack in to control it, through him, kind of override any kind of physical like stick or button.
You can certainly try.
Yes. That's a wonderful DM phrase, isn't it?
It's my favorite DM phrase.
Well, meanwhile, while you do that, I go get the captain and tell him what's going on.
Oh, he's here. He knows.
Ah,
All right, Ansel. Can you interface it with the ship and see if we can try and get a little bit of control here? And I find like some kind of console, and I just like put the arm onto it and try and like meld like stick my whole arm to see if it'll like meld into something. Put as much as I possibly can, use as much.
You put your hand on the console. There's a few moments of silence, and then you hear analyzing. Alert. Controls are severely damaged. Likely damaged in the last attack. Engines are also critically damaged. We will need to make port for repairs.
Can we hail? Is there a settlement nearby? Can we open up a hailing channel and warn people? We might be coming into dangerous airspace and be shot down. We need to find a friendly space.
I did try to do a scan if I would know how to do such.
Why, yes. I do believe I do have rules for scanning. Let me just have a look. Spacewalking, engineering, tinkering, hacking. Yes, so you can use the ship's scanners to get advantage on a perception check.
Very well. Well, thank God I got advantage because my first was a natural 2 for free.
What can I say except you're welcome?
And the
Video
next
gets
is right.
copyright claimed.
And the next is right beside the 2, an 18 for a 19.
Nice.
So you do detect a settlement beacon, but it's a small beacon. It does not have any long-range communication.
They are not long range.
While all this is going on, can I be in the cockpit trying to just fix something to give us any kind of control back?
Yeah, same here on the engine front.
You can certainly try. I will say this will be a tinkering check,
That Arcana still?
which is Arcana, yes. Engineering, tinkering, and hackering all fall under
I
Arcana.
mean, I've got Tinker's tools. Does that mean I'm also proficient at this?
Are you proficient with the Tinker's tools?
Yes, I am, and I have them.
Then yes.
Sweet.
That will be even though I got some proficiency in it, I got 13.
I rolled a natural 20 for a 29.
Oh,
Nice.
hell yeah.
PakPak.
Okay.
I saw that DIY Twitch.
He's no longer playing with like average fucking players. We've played this game for long enough where most of us like know how to build really good characters.
Or intentionally build really bad characters.
Still nowhere near as bad as the one guy who came into Vistarian and just made this fucking just abomination of a Bard Sorkadin that could do like 200 damage in one shot without even critting.
What's that at level 9 as well?
Yeah, level 10 I think it was.
I have
Oh,
my
focusing?
story from that.
Let's refocus on this campaign we're in
Yeah.
for the listeners.
So, you two are in fact working together, able to completely repair the controls. The ship is limping, but you can now steer it.
Good.
Well, Threava's still taking her authority of approach of I've piloted. I've been on his crew the longest I'm piloting.
Okay, Billy Big Balls.
Yeah, let's have the character with a low dex on a dex check.
I know, right? That's
Do
what
our
I'm sitting here
thing.
thinking.
Other than the other 2 trained pilots on the ship also.
I mean, I've piloted stuff before, but not of this scale.
Then why?
Then why are you doing it when we got other better people?
because because Raven's never crashed, and these all PakPak crash. She doesn't trust it.
Hey, I wasn't driving that shit.
Is there a co-pilot?
Mm.
Like I want
Odd Job starts flying the ship until someone fucking better does it.
Okay. While this was all going on, though, Josh, while they were all fucking around in the engineering room, could I have gotten the system by then?
What was that, Nate?
Could I have gotten to the comm system by then? When they were all dinking around in the engineering room? Because that's where I ran off to that entire time they were trying to, I don't know,
I just
fix the
figured
ship.
I just figured we let the chaos like do its exploding and then wait until it was safe and not exploding anymore.
Okay. That works.
Lilith would be just well aware that she has no idea how to run any sort of ship, so she's like, all right, I hope you guys can figure this out.
Use plants.
Use
She
plans.
transforms.
Okay.
She shifts into a cat form to lay in a corner.
I can do that.
So what is Nate doing in the comm room?
Well,
Excellent
are
question.
we on that point? Or are we on...
We're on that.
Okay, so I think then I'm hailing probably the training center where I know most of our people are actually located. So I'll probably try to like patch in through an official channel to Keeley, but in the process, like I'm definitely like hot wiring shit on the console so like people can't actually see where I called. You know, like I'm basically making it an unknown phone number.
You're basically just caller ID. You're basically just blocking numbers on caller ID.
He turned on his VPN.
Yes, NordVPN sponsor.
No, our sponsor is VPN.
Yes.
Yes. So I would like to do that and try to hail the main command center.
VPN, Vincent Personal Network.
Yes,
Okay.
my personal network.
VPN.
So I will say this will be a hacking check since you're specifically trying to access.
Hide my trace.
Yeah, you're
Okay.
basically trying to sweep your footsteps off.
What is that again?
Arcana.
I love Arcana. Wait, I thought hacking was sleight of hand.
No.
Not mine.
Well, actually, no. I need to check because there's like a distinction. So
Yes.
hacking is Arcana, while repair, rewire, reprogram, and bypass are sleight of hand. So
would this not be a bypass? Because I'm just trying to bypass our system. I'm not trying to break into the.
yeah,
I'm not trying to
okay.
break
So
into
this would be a
ours.
sleight of hand check then.
Okay. Hell yeah. That's so much better.
Actually,
19
hacking should probably
plus
be sleight of hand too.
23.
So 23. You are successful.
V only does things he knows he's good at. That's why I don't talk to people. I think, yeah, V just tries to hail the main base and try to just get any response he can from anyone.
Okay. I need to pull up some documentation.
There's a lot of stuff in our message channel if there's stuff you're looking for.
Oh no, I've got the doc on Google Docs.
Okay.
But I actually wrote.
Okay. Because I think, he would go straight for one of the bigger names and go for, who was it?
Was he going after one of the chancellors or one of the proctors?
Yeah, he was going after the chancellor he had met. The one who supervised their training every once in a while.
Okay. Well,
I just
funnily
can't
enough,
see.
that would
find
be
the name.
Supreme Chancellor Prowlin, I believe.
That is, yes. So yeah, he hails Prowlin on the secure channel that his agency taught him, basically. So not through any of like their public channels. So like, you know, it doesn't go to his secretary type of situation. It goes like straight to his personal.
Chancellor Pralin.
Chancellor, it's V from the Viper unit. It's been a while.
Indeed it has. I can only assume you have something of grave import to discuss with me that you would try and contact me on this channel.
So my mission got sidetracked with a derelict vessel, and it was the Lancian we came across. I reported this to Keeley earlier, and on board we had discovered a Reaper on board. While me and the crew I was with retreated, that's not the main topic. Keeley probably could have informed you eventually of that. The issue is we spotted well, I don't know how to put this, but a dreadnought on location that was, what would you say, like twice the size of the Lancian?
Like 10 times the size. It was massive.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We saw a dreadnought probably 10 times the size of the Lancian, and it bore the colors of our enemy. There's people on board, so I'm being coy, if you understand.
Yes, I understand. It is good to suppress such information to avoid a panic. Especially if this is related to a certain subject we are forbidden from discussing on open channels.
That is the main reason for this call. I hate to tell you this, but I'm fairly confident the Dreadnought actually belonged to them.
I see. Then our fears are getting worse. Not just being realized, but actually getting worse. This is concerning. We're running out of time.
It was... The firepower was able to stun our ship completely in just a couple shots. We were able to make it out, but we're currently in the middle of nowhere from it looks like. The crew is panicking. One of our shipmates, a Owlin, was able to teleport us a long distance, it seems like.
Really? That very strong magic to be able to teleport an entire vessel and everyone on it without any sort of, well, incident.
Well, sounds like she's currently taking quite a mental nap, if we should say.
Yes. She's probably lucky that it didn't kill her. A lot of even the strongest magi are unable to accomplish such a feat. It is impressive, and it's good that she was able to succeed. The fact that you are safe bodes well for future endeavors in this matters. I will need to speak with the chancellors.
Is there anything you would like us to do in the meantime? I don't think the people I'm with or myself are equipped enough to go research what we came across. If I recommend anything, I would say you want probably one of our faster ships, one that can hopefully go undetected.
Yes, that is the idea. I will arrange with Proctor Keeley to send a squadron of Vipers. Reconnaissance mostly. I don't want any heroics. But we should keep an eye on them if we can track them down. Do you remember the coordinates of the Lancian's last known location?
Yeah. I think I can't remember the sector. Nathan can't remember the sector, but he would definitely.
So the galaxy is in the shape of it's basically in the shape of a 5-point star that's also a spiral, almost like a pinwheel galaxy.
Okay.
And each of these spines has a region of space in between it, known as an astral sea. You
Yeah.
guys were basically on the edge of what is referred to as the Nile Void, which is a very bad place. Like, that is where that's where the Illithids originated from. So that's like Illithid territory. There's other things in there as well. Like, that's also where the 9 hells are located, for example, and some other nasty places.
I think then, yeah, he would basically, and you said it was the Nile what?
The
Sorry, I'm
Nile
writing.
Void.
The Nile Void. Yeah, he would. So V would report that it was the Nile Void, and that were we close to any like major planets at that time? Like, if I was to say, you know, how close we were to something, what would have been like the closest landmark?
I would say you probably would have known that it was in a star cluster at the edge of the Nile Void. Probably a largely uninhabited one. A lot, like, mainly people go through there for like through traffic to like dump off like fuel emissions and, like, you know, to get rid of waste and all sorts of other things. They were investigating disappearances, like ships were, you know, traveling through there, like frontier ships, frontier vessels, marketing ships, storage vessels, haulers, that sort of thing, just vanishing. And they were
Gotcha.
basically investigating why.
I think then I would basically any of the documents I was able to retrieve, I would send through the comms channel, and that's when I would basically leave. So I would send him the video of everything going crazy, and then I would just ask him if he has any direct orders for now. Oh, someone has chicken steak sausage.
Yum.
Oh, oh, Jesus. This
Yes.
Don't worry, I do have myself muted on those occasions, like in the recording software.
welcome to
Oh, gotcha.
Derail Valley.
Carry on.
Okay, so yeah, I would just respond. Is there anything you would like me to do currently, Chancellor, or shall I just continue on with my current mission?
2 Agent Vincent 211. For now, it would be best to just play this event off as if it never happened. Try and calm your crew, answer any questions to the best of your ability that they may have. I suspect they probably know by now that you are aware of something, but try not to cause a panic. Just simply say that it is Verdan business, and leave it at that. And if they are unsatisfied with it, they can die mad about it.
I think he would turn and also say, Chancellor, if I may, I've kept my identity hidden. Do you think telling them it's a, what were they called again? What's that wonderful monster type that's like where they put all the Illithids and the space hungering bullshit?
Aberration.
Aberration, thank you. I think then I'll just make a story about them being some type of aberrational creature that I've ran into in the past and leave it at that.
You're muted.
Josh, you no
Oh,
one
he's
can hear
talking.
you.
He's talking to his dad.
Oh.
Dad came by and bothered me to ask me if I wanted the rest of his frickin' like frozen dinner, and I'm like, no, I just had one.
All right,
I'm
go for
trying
it.
to lose weight.
Then yeah, I
Meanwhile-
would just ask him if he has any other orders, and since he doesn't, other than keeping my head down, I would just basically sign off from there.
Yeah, you said something about keeping your identity secret and whether or not you should do something. What was that? Because I missed that.
Yeah.
Just tell him it was aberrations, and you kind of confirm. Just use that as the excuse.
Yes. Okay.
After Vincent signs off, Josh, could we say that right when he signs off and disables communications, that Odd Job opens the door to the comm room?
You're always just one step behind me.
Yeah.
Yes. You know what? Why not?
I open the doors to the comm room and walk in. Interesting.
What
What
does the
are
robot
you?
need in the comms room?
I was checking where you were. It was interesting. The one who was most urgent to get out of here alive ran into the comms room when he could have been useful the most.
Useful at what? I'm not good at wiring ships.
So you decided to be in here for dot 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 dot
Error.
question mark.
I was
Error,
just
have
trying to
error.
hail the closest city. And then he stands up and he walks by.
I deliberately stand in front of him.
in front of the door to block the way.
Well,
I think
I stepped inside, so he could get around me, but I'm objectively try and make it a little bit of a problem.
Oh, like when
I
you step
think-
in front of him.
A lot
Job.
of secrecy.
I think this is like one of the times he gets really serious and he looks at Odd Job and looks that you're pretty burned or were pretty burned. You know,
Lots
Odd
more
Job.
charged.
You know, taking burns like that can cause some of that metal to heat and fall off faster. You know, if you need that arranged, I can do that for you.
Ha 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 ha. And there's no smiley faces on his eyes.
Oh.
We will find out what you're hiding. And when we find out, well, let's hope the captain doesn't have anything bad to say about it.
I think I look at him, well, it's a good thing I don't answer to your captain now, is it? And I just, at this point, using my small size, probably just slink under your legs.
Oh god. Meanwhile, Dagg and Threava try to land the ship.
Yeah, like where do we see a continent, like grass? Do we see mountains? Do we see cities, a town? Like what are we looking
So,
at out front of the cockpit?
As you enter the planet's atmosphere, you start entering, and once you enter the atmosphere and you get down past the clouds, flying miles above the planet's surface, you see a planet that is mostly made up of small seas and largely, like, the land is covered in karst. Which, if you don't know what a karst is, it's a limestone formation that's like a really sharp, jagged spire mountain. They're very common in China. It's a big part of the Chinese landscape, things like that. And there are sporadic valleys scattered throughout them. One, you notice, appears to have some kind of small, like, probably like maybe a pioneer settlement or something in it. You can see buildings, but from this high up, you can't really tell what their purpose is.
Can I tell if there's anywhere to land, dear place?
A lot of it is forest. A lot of it is karsts, and you can see a small pond, a large lake with an island in it, a waterfall feeding into the lake from an aquifer in the karsts. There are a few clearings that could potentially work. The biggest clearing is to the southeast.
While they're, talking about where to land, I think in the back of V's head, or
I
he
missed a
says,
place.
out loud, you could just land the ship vertically. Just like sits down.
Basically say to Dagg, this might be a tricky landing, but let's go there. And I pointed to one in southeast.
I did miss something. There is actually a very large clearing to the east of the lake. On the east shore of the lake, there is actually probably a large enough landing for the ship. I would say.
That's
point that
is
one
that
out
cyber
back.
guy working? And there's a spot right over there.
Yes, my cyborg guy is working. So what's the role me and Dagg both have to do? Because we're technically teaming on this.
Simple. You make a piloting check. Dex plus proficiency. D20 plus Dex plus proficiency.
That'll be 15 for me.
Okay, D20.
14 minus 1 plus 2.
You got a -1?
For Dex.
How was you a pilot?
Okay, that wasn't a very good roll.
He's the type of pilot who has a really he has like shields on the outside of his ship, so all the rocks bounce off.
No, you see, I'm an
Are we giving each other like? Is one of us giving each other advantage, or are we rolling separately?
Say the person in the pilot seat can have advantage.
Okay, which is technically
in that
Threava.
case,
That's literally what a co-pilot exists to do, is give the pilot advantage.
PakPak, I'll explain to you before I do my advantage roll then. I'm an Excitoflight pilot, which basically means my piloting skill is based upon performance, which is a charisma thing.
And high speed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
that's how I'm a pilot.
I'm good at charisma also, so.
Okay. My 15 changed to a 16, so massive differences here.
You're welcome.
I've rolled a natural 14, then a natural 15.
So, you guys come in for a landing. It's not exactly easy. The area that you try to land in, as you approach, this area of land is still quite significantly small. It's probably just big enough for the ship to land and have like a little bit of wiggle room to get around it. And the landing is a little bit choppy because, yeah.
Yeah.
You are successfully able to land the ship without damaging it any more than it already is.
Threava, you might be looking into some upgrades in that arm of yours. You seem to have a hard time landing there.
You know me, I'm more of a high-speed vessel kind of gal.
I don't know about that. I've beaten you several times.
Reverse wins as you mentioned that. I'll get you back someday.
You guys land. What do you do now that the ship has landed?
I take a deep sigh. Sorry, I interrupted you.
I have a look around for civilization compared to where we're going. Yeah.
Did we see anything when we were up in the sky?
Yeah, as you came in, you would have seen a lot of buildings. They're not clustered together quite like a settlement, though. You got a few buildings like in the center of the valley. There's like a really big one and a couple of small ones. One that was sort of obscured by trees. On the island, you saw a small hut with a dock and a tree house in a tree at the center of the island. There is a cluster of buildings on the other side of the lake from where you are. but it's pretty dark and spooky right now. You've actually landed on the night side of the planet. And it's also pouring rain.
Did we
Oh,
exit?
my.
Did we even check the atmosphere for breathe it? Like, is this like, can we breathe the atmosphere?
There are trees, so yes, it's breathable.
Yeah, but like life forms could exist differently. It could look like a tree, but you know.
It sounds like there's oxygen.
He said yes.
There's
Okay.
oxygen.
Yeah.
These are
Okay.
oxygen-producing trees.
Oxygen.
nitpicking.
Oxygen is included in this planet.
So it is breathable, and it's currently pouring down rain. It looks like it's coming like a storm. It's very like, Earth-like, similar to like Alfheim, for example, or the human home world of Thra.
How many moons do we see in the sky? Do we see any moons?
There are 3.
Cool.
Is
Two
there
of them
much light
collide.
pollution? Like, how is the sky like full of stars?
Dear
Is it, like,
God.
light pollution.
It's a storm. We can't see the stars.
No.
Quite. Actually, I probably shouldn't have even told you that there are 3 moons, but now you know anyway.
We
What
would've
do you
saw
mean?
those half the
Why
battle.
Couldn't we have seen them with our eyes?
I think we had bigger fish to fry when we were crashing.
That is accurate.
I
You
think
just
we may
landed
have
the
been
ship
focused
vertically,
on
we were
not
fine.
dying.
We should have landed diagonally.
We
That's
should've
what I'm
landed
saying.
Yeah, Nebula like steps down that kind of gangway, sees that it's dark, rainy, and foreign outside, turns around and walks back to her quarters.
I step out.
So for those of you who actually do step out of the ship, what you immediately see is on the side of the lake you're on, you see a fire watch tower. You see stairs carved into the karsts on this side that lead up straight behind the waterfall. There is also an old mine behind the waterfall. Across the lake, you can make out a hut on the island and a tree house in the tree at the center of the island. And there's a boathouse on the far side of the lake from the fishing hut. There is also a bridge, a large stone bridge, likely made out of stone that's sturdier than karsts, because for those of you who don't know, karsts are made of limestone. That's the reason they're shaped like they are. Limestone basically melts when it rains. It's limestone.
Yeah.
Or lemon stone.
Or limonstone.
Or lemon stone.
Oh dear God, we're in the real valley once again.
But that's what you immediately see. Across the bridge, you can just probably barely make out that there is a road leading through the forest. But the trees are really thick, clustered together, and dense.
Are they leafy trees or piney trees?
They are deciduous trees, so they are leafy trees.
It seems like there is civilization over there. If we are going to get repairs, maybe they are the closest people to get the repairs from.
I'll take the lead. I am the most sociable.
Yep, that's what I think when I look at you, Dagg Harlock, with the robot eye and the robot arm with the AI on your head. That is what I think. You are the most sociable.
I was quite the suave buccaneer. I'll have you know.
I am. This is my genuine voice.
Nebula comes back out of her quarters. About 2 or 3 minutes later, she has that nice like silken looking fabric that she hung up for a curtain over her bunk, and she has it over her head like how people hold their jackets when it's raining.
Like a towel.
Good thinking, Nebula. If you are not waterproof, you should not go out there.
Well, it's
basically
dark,
saying-
so
Luckily, I am waterproof. As you see
there's
steam hitting steam coming out of my robot every time water hits my.
There's
Literally,
like
he just
open
steps
rust
out of there.
boards.
Oddjob just steps outside, instantly freezes, and then you just hear him go, "Oh, okay."
I basically say to Dagg, I'll trust you to do the talking, but if it's getting difficult, I'll have your back.
How dark
Sounds
is
like
it?
he doesn't
Or,
trust
like,
you.
What time of the day is it?
it's nighttime.
It is dark and it is rainy.
Dark and rainy.
Like
Tell us, Druid lady, is there any weird Druid magic out here?
can I smell the air? What's the scent?
You know that wet
Nice
dog
water.
smell you get whenever it's freshly raining? It's
Mhm.
that. That's what
you
you
smelled on Gawhyl.
Yeah, is Gawhyl behind me?
You haven't seen Gawhyl. Actually,
What?
Hopefully he's dead.
no. Wait, what? No. Nebula
Can
will
I
have
go
seen him in those quarters. I'm just looking at those. I think, like, as soon as Gawhyl knew that we were safely on the ground, he would definitely have been making communication to Alfheim as much as he possibly could.
If he even could.
He's going to attempt it.
Everybody else has trundled off the ship to be like, "We're off to get some help for our broke ass ship."
Before, as people are starting to head out to go get help, I actually put my hand on V's shoulder. A moment
God
of
damn
your
it.
time. Just
think
one moment.
I mean, that was definitely more than one moment, but sure.
I was using it figuratively anyway. Okay. While they go off ahead, perhaps you and I can have a private area of the ship to discuss something.
We can have a conversation.
Is this before we exit the ship?
This is like as people are exiting out, we're kind of at the tail end.
Okay, you pull aside.
Yeah. So Josh, where's a good part of the ship to have a private conversation?
Few good places. You could go into the bunks and like just shut the door, and like, you know, just converse in your own bunks. Like, go all the way back into like the bathroom shower area, talk there. The hangar. Normally, Gale is usually working on the engine, so she's not in the hangar. So the hangar isn't really used for anything other than storage. You could, you know, hide behind some crates and spick.
Is there a closet that can barely fit the two of us?
I was gonna say, do I hear this? Are you like speaking in a hush? You know, have you turned?
Yeah,
your
no,
volume
we're
down to three?
it's quiet.
Yeah, there's a broom closet.
Yeah,
basically.
so as the rest of the group head off towards the the civilization, Nate and I are gonna go into secret conversations. And Josh, you can stay with the rest of the party to interact with them. I will tell you exactly what we talk about in there.
The two are going into the
Okay.
closet together.
By the way, Fiery is going to need to follow you so that it'll be on the recording. However, he can deafen himself.
It
Well,
depends.
But what about, okay, my question would be, if the party's still gonna do something over here, then isn't he doesn't he want to record that?
Well, it depends.
I think this can stay a secret from the audience and you
Oh,
should
yeah.
mark this.
Right.
Yeah.
If you want it to
If
be
that
kept
is what
such
you
as-
wish, then that is
Josh,
what we shall do.
the one if anything gets revealed, it's the one secret that I have.
Okay.
So that's why. All right.
That's fine.
Vincent, Nate, let's go to
Be
the
right
secret conversation.
Right, Josh.
Yee.
Would I have been able to get through to Alfheim?
Yeah. Say you would know the communication codes to contact the specific people that you want to contact.
He'd be contacting in more of a official manner rather than straight to his family. It would be he's contacting people
President.
who need to know stuff.
Yeah.
Hello, Mr. President.
Monsieur Napoleon, I have report.
No. It'd be some sort of like commander or that type of person.
Is his superhero sidekick.
It's his superhero sidekick, Daywalker.
Yeah,
And-
yeah. Who's been sitting at his house like, where the hell is he? I'm trying to save the city all by myself.
If Nebula walked into the quarters, you would hear very quick Elvish being spoken. Not quite.
And it sounds like very high tier French.
I think. I don't know. Would I have already walked to the edge of the ship yet or no? Because
I would have said that you would have heard this, like part of this conversation as you've walked into the quarters. Like as you've walked into where the bunks are.
yeah.
It's up to you if you stay
Leave it up to you
behind
boys,
to.
if you want to follow up on any of this information.
Yeah. Nebula will stick back there.
Okay. So, are you attempting to eavesdrop, or are you just going to pop in and be like, "Hey, son, are you winning?"
It's not really an eavesdrop. She doesn't actively hide herself at all. She doesn't like pop in and interrupt, but she probably just stands there in the doorway, kind of unmeaningly menacingly.
The
Gaw's-
JoJo letters.
Gawhyl wouldn't be put off by. I would say it'd be fine with you standing there at the moment. Like if it was someone else, then it probably would stop. But
Well, hi, Nebula. I like you. You can stay here.
please go ahead. Who would my contact be?
I need to pull up some information.
Of his 25 pages.
I was trying to do some filler by talking to Nebula about talking to Val about stuff while you found the information.
Yeah, I just need to pull up the Anila document real quick so I can.
I'll also point out to Nebula that Gawhyl looks a bit beat up.
Nebula has no way of assisting. She just looks upset at the whole situation. What if we crashed here and this isn't like... This isn't...
You sort of take Gawhyl out of his zone for a second.
Yeah. What if this isn't spacefaring? What if they're primitive? We'll be stuck here. I can't be stuck here.
I do not wish to be stuck here either. I take it Josh is ready.
Yes.
Go.
So you basically get a transmission back. Top Lieutenant of the Anila Guard, Pollinodel speaking. State your name and your business, please.
It is Gawhyl.
Owl, how are you doing? We haven't heard since you left a couple of weeks ago.
I have not had any time to communicate.
You know what? I don't even think my accent's French. I'm not gonna do an accent. I can't do a French accent. I'm mad.
No,
I'm
it's,
so
it's
mad.
okay. It's not bad. It's not the worst.
I don't know. When I just listen to myself in my own head right there, I think I sounded like Indian or something, or like Arabic. I don't think it was French.
Mine's not really French, but I'm just sticking with an accent.
Foreign.
I have not had time to communicate.
Are you ready for help? Is this help?
Carl looks confused as like you speak back, even though he's like he probably wouldn't notice at first, but he's got like some sort of small device he's holding in his hand. I 2 moments, please. Nebula, you are free to stay here. If you allow me to have a conversation.
Yeah. And she just kind of like acts unassuming.
It turns invisible because he stands so still.
Sorry, Cindy. I have it is good, but also bad news.
See, very well. I'm ready to receive.
The good news. I'm alive.
Very, very clearly, Gawhyl. Please tell me the things that aren't completely obvious to me.
Valorine is also alive.
This is better news. This is less obvious news. This is good to hear. How did you find this? Have you heard from him?
I have not heard directly from him, but the Lancion is no more. I discovered it. It had been abandoned somewhat a month, 5 weeks ago.
Literally, when you say the Lancian is no more, it's you basically just hear gasps in French. This is unprecedented. The Lancian, one of our best ships, a ship that has led the charge against the Illithids, is destroyed. Who is responsible for this?
I do not know. The one that I saw in the footage that I could find, it was a cloaked figure in black with a scythe so sharp it cut through people as if they were not there. I was able to get to the black box and found some more information about when the attack occurred. At the time, the ship got disabled. There were, it says in the logs, hundreds of unidentified boarders. The comms were damaged, engines critical. Camera feed, the camera feeds just showed the people boarding, just slicing innocents down, whether they surrendered or were simply the cooks. There was no mercy.
So it definitely was not the Illithids. The Illithids were not about mindless slaughter. They were about control. They wanted to rule. They would not kill. They would expect those who surrendered to bend the knee and to serve them always. This is concerning. An unknown enemy that we are unfamiliar with. And they have completely destroyed our best cruiser.
They killed everyone apart from the captain, the commander, and Valerian, along with about 200 others were able to escape.
It warms my heart to hear at least some people were able to make it. There is no telling where they are now.
I do not know.
Those craft were not meant for long distance travel. If they were out in the middle of nowhere, they could have potentially drifted for weeks or months until they crash landed on any planet within the vicinity. This is dire. I will contact the government and see if we can authorize some probes to be sent out into that region of space. Hopefully we can find them before something worse happens to them, and now I'm German. Deutschland.
I would not advise sending a ship where the Lancian's last position was. This
is an agreeable statement. I won't be sending any ships. We will just send drones. We will launch them from this orbital platform.
I do have a bit more news as well. As we were leaving, there was a very large dreadnought, maybe 10 times the size of the Lancian, that it was attacking what remained of the Lancian.
A moment. Gawhyl, how did you initially discover the Lancian?
It was a communication. It must have been delayed or stored for if anything got close.
Interesting. So your ship picked up this transmission and that led you to investigate.
Yes.
Was it a trap? But why? What would the purpose be? What could possibly be achieved?
I don't know. I do not think it was attack as much as we boarded and what remained of the attacking force must have brought in the reinforcements. The colours at least seem to match between the ship and what the border I saw was wearing.
I see. This is troubling. I'm making notes and I will be sure to inform the government. We will also make attempts to reach out to the other elves. And I'm German again. I'm just going to go with the accent.
Yes.
We'll make attempts to reach out to the other elves. The sun elves and the moon elves. See if we can't coerce them to come together and pool resources. I really dread what may happen if this dreadnought attacks a world. The size of the ship none of the dreadnoughts that we have match anything close to this. If they have more,
I
I
did not
I don't
recognize the
know.
colours either of the attackers. It was black with like red streaks.
That doesn't match any known designs or models.
I don't know how much longer this communication will last. I will. I don't know where we are. We managed to warp away, but we are currently very damaged, and I don't know the planet that we have managed to get to.
Well, what's important, brother, is that you're safe. It may be possible to gather resources from the planet's surface to make enough rudimentary repairs to get the ship to a port.
That is what we are hoping for.
Good. Well, keep me updated, and if you need anything, we can try and triangulate your location, but it would take time.
I'd just try and just give him some information on what I've been able to see so far from where we are right now. Just to give him something to go off.
It's not a planet that I recognize right off the bat. It could be one of the frontier worlds. Let's see. Here we go. It sounds like, yeah, sounds like a frontier world. I don't know much about it, but what did you say the landscape looked like?
I'll describe what I could see.
Yeah, okay. It sounds like you're on a frontier world known as Karstrath.
I don't know how to spell that.
I will spell it in session text, children. As far as I know, it's a pretty remote world, very rural. Only one real settlement that I know of from some pioneers from the Dwarven Mining Guild way back. They established a settlement known as, I think it was Copperton. Let me just have a look at my files real quick.
How is Nebula reacting to all this conversation?
She looks like she's not paying attention, is acting like it. And then when the talk of this world being a frontier world is brought up, with only one real like large settlement, she looks very, very upset.
I think
So,
yeah, Go would probably know this. Let's be honest.
may have some good news and some bad news. The good news is, there should still be some people at the mining settlement of Copperton, but the mine ran dry about 2 years ago, and there's basically only a few die-hard residents of the city left. I don't know if any of them would be able to help, and I don't know if any of them are still remaining. However, I do show in my records that there are a couple of paleoarchaeologists looking at some ruins on the world that were actually discovered near the settlement of Copperton. So they might be your best bet. They're probably independent, and they would probably have their own ship.
I will chase on this lead. I thank you for all the information. I will try to communicate when I am able.
Good. Stay in touch. Also, Mom says hi and she loves you.
You see a smile. Oh, Nebula would see a smile.
A tail wag, even?
There's still too much going on at the moment.
So, so we're stuck here then.
It looks like it. Or at least for the time being, we are stuck here.
It's unfortunately not as hopeless as it could be. It could be a lot worse. If the ship had actually crashed, it would be way, way worse. Good job on all the people who fixed shit.
You're welcome.
Yes, my 6 was the most important contribution.
Which direction is the nearest settlement?
I believe it will be the one that we could see when we were entering. I don't know if it will be wise to exit the ship while it is dark.
It's just silence. It's just silence and like she looks downcast.
Downcast like the rain and weather.
We should be able to get away. If we can't move, I can get people here.
How long?
Gawhyl just has this, like, you just see the ears go back slightly, and like the look of like, he just sort of shrugs his shoulders. I don't know.
I do not know, mon ami.
I can most likely get something out here.
What is it? Was this whole conversation happening in Elvish, by the way?
Yeah.
Yeah, and on the ship.
Yeah, so the rest of you aren't even aware this is going on. Speaking of the rest of you, though, have you stopped to wait for the other party members, or have you pulled a demigods and fucked off into the darkness of the night in the rain?
Dagg actually took 3 steps out into the rain and realized, oh wait, this is not going to look very good. And steps back in, just like a sopping mess, just whiskers like dragged down. Wet cat, just totally miserable. Like and I go to find some kind of umbrella, so I go back to the quarters.
Yeah, like, if you guys want protection from the elements, your suits will actually facilitate that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'd have been waiting by the ship for the rest of the party to come out.
I think eventually.
Yeah, I think.
Go on.
No, go ahead.
I would say I think Gawhyl would eventually sort of come down the gangway and just be like, I would like to travel immediately, but I think it would be better to wait until the morning. I'm also feeling a bit injured at the moment.
I just look at you, wet, totally. I take my tail and start wringing it out.
Is this like one of those always raining planets, Josh?
No.
Oh,
no.
that sucks. Give me Camino or whatever the planet's called. I think at this point, though, you guys see Odd Job and V coming out of
A broom closet.
Yeah, random ass broom closet, and you see V is just like, oh my god. No, he just comes out like fucking this crazy ass fucking robot. Josh, he did tell me V will be reporting it, but for, game's sake, he's not gonna RP it.
Okay.
Does everyone see you just like the two of you tumble out of the closet?
Yes, we are making out.
We I thought this was our quarters. I took a wrong turn at, and he just walks away.
That guy's the biggest like shit-eating grin. Like he's already thinking of several different scenarios.
Which
yeah,
way
of
was
a robot and a random human. Hell
Which-
yeah.
which way was the settlement? Which way was the settlement?
Did everyone just see?
You're imagining things, V says while he walks by.
I don't.
If you make
I don't. I really don't mean to be rude. I really don't. But I don't care about what I just saw. Where is the settlement?
That way.
Oh, someone sounds grumpy.
I'm soaking wet.
Threava basically tells you we should go in daylight. At least we won't get soaked, and at least we'll be able to see where we're going. And just don't want
What
to
do you
fall into one of those mounds.
What do you mean? See where we're going? She like flicks the dancing lights up. There.
I think though the issue with that there, Miss want to run forward is, if they aren't friendly, then they see that and then they come with arrows and guns and swords and stab us or shoot us. This is
No,
not
this
a
is-
nice world.
This is a frontier world.
That doesn't mean they're friendly.
Doesn't mean that they're not.
We have to
start-
be cautious.
Yeah, I start relaying all the information back to Vincent about what I've been told about the world.
Wait,
Which-
this is a frontier world.
It is a frontier world. It was made by a mining corporation. The mines ran out a couple of years ago, so there may be only a few here still.
Perhaps it would be good to wait until morning to talk to them when we look less suspicious. Coming in the night, we are not a normal group. They might mistake us for space pirates or something like that.
Not me though, right?
Yeah, definitely not. You again, you are the epitome of the charismatic human thing. Not human. Anyway,
Would it be racist to call you a
Be a
happy?
space pirate.
and also, it now might be a good time to go to sleep because it would be a great episode ender for our show. He looks at the camera.
Yes.
Sorry, I feel like we kept cutting Maddie off.
Oh, sorry, Maddie.
Oh no, you're good. I was just gonna say that while they're in the closet and while you're talking to your person, Lilith would just be outside, sick of being on the metal ship and more happy to be in nature.
Let the
Well,
rain
Josh.
fall down.
Well, Josh, while we're all, whether or not we decide to go towards the cabin, not the cabin, the civilization tonight or tomorrow in game time, would this be a good area to end our episode today?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Perfect ending.
Cool.
Everyone's trapped on a ship that doesn't fly in the middle of the rain on a planet they barely know.
What could possibly go wrong?
Don't say that!
Sounds like a good weekend if you ask me.
Sounds like the average weekend.
We never really know what we're doing, so I mean, like,
Does anyone ever really?
All right, you gonna say anything else to close it off, Josh?
Yes, I am. Thank you at home for watching. If you enjoyed this episode of the Astral Expanse, hit that like button, hit subscribe, and make sure to ring that bell so that you can stay up to date on future uploads. We'll see you guys for session 3. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.